Poor girl. She couldn't hold anymore and she pissed all over the floor. Yeah, it's the next day and we are back here to see what we're gonna do with this radiator situation that we created ourselves. Anyway, hope today is gonna be better than yesterday, because yesterday whatever I touched, everything failed. Started by finding out that I bought 4 rotors instead of 2 rotors and 2 drums. Then the tensioner was so soft that I had to use double tensioner actually. Then the valve for the heat was seized and I couldn't take the flange off. Then the relay for the horn was cheap aftermarket relay, so I had to solder it. And finally this radiator. So I hope today it's gonna be a better day, huh? Anyways, before we do anything here, let's go on a hunt and see if we have another radiator. And who can help an old lady in bad need of a radiator if not another old lady? Yeah, this old lady here, our 68 Spitfire, she already donated her engine. Well, she let the other girl borrow it. And now let's see if she has a radiator that she can lend to the other girl. Yes, we have a radiator, but it looks really weird because it is a small one. It is small and it has those extensions to match the bracket here. Let's take it and see if we can use it or not. Look at the size of this thing and look at the size of this thing. It's almost half the size. Well, in this case definitely I need to buy a new radiator, but by the time it comes I don't want to disable the car, so I'm gonna see if I can use this one temporarily. I never had issues with overheating, but now with this I'm afraid it's gonna start overheating, so maybe I have electrical fan, so maybe I'm gonna install the fan too, just in case. Anyways, this radiator actually worked with this engine, but how did it work? Nobody knows, because they both came with the 68 Spitfire. So I just had it running once for 5 minutes and that was it, but I don't know if the engine was running good, if it was overheating, or what was the situation when this car was on the road with this radiator. It looks like this is Spitfire. It says on it Coventry radiator, and what does it say here? Stern part. So maybe it's from the early Spitfire, the 1147 engine. Who knows? Because also these brackets look like original, and they are not like homemade parts. Anyway, this one is ripped here, so we have to figure out a way to rivet it back together. But the thing is, this thing is ripped. So we have 1.5 holes available here for rivets, but we will see. And it doesn't look bad. I don't see any cracks or anything. Actually, it still has water inside. Right, I ran some water through it and didn't show any leaks, so now I'm gonna clean it as much as I can with the wire brush, and I'm gonna rust convert those extensions. And we're gonna paint it. I think that's solid enough. So now I will see if I can split these, if I can take them out to clean them properly and paint everything, and that's gonna be it. No, you know what? I don't want to snap them, so I'm just gonna paint everything as it is, as one piece. So I'm just gonna rust convert it. First gonna rust convert this part, and I'm gonna wire wheel this part, and then we're gonna paint it. Alright, I think I cleaned it as much as I could. This here is waiting for the rust converter to react. So while we're waiting for that, why don't we go and disassemble the car? Or let me just see what's gonna happen here. Yeah, we're gonna have to clean it after the rust converter anyways, but okay, let's go disassemble the car and we're gonna come back and take care of the radiator. Alright, let's see what's the situation here. Why the heck this fan took off? But you know what, guys, I have an idea. While you're watching me here disassembling the car, I'm gonna go and have a head start on the radiator. I wanna hit it with the wire, so you can stay here for a while and then you can join me there, okay? Mamma mia. See why this nut didn't stay. Uh-oh. The nut is still here. Yeah. The nut is here, but the washer isn't. Oh, so I told you it wasn't my fault. It was the washer's fault. I took it there, I cleaned it from the rust, I wired wheeled it, I made it look nice, and when I needed it, it just wasn't there for me. You see? That's how the parts thank you for taking care of them. They are just not there. In Bulgaria we say that nobody can hurt you as bad as you can hurt yourself. That's totally my fault. The nut just went through the hole. How can I be so stupid, can you tell me? Well, there's nothing left of my wire wheel. Oh, hi! Did you find the problem? He didn't put the washer, did he? And he blamed the washer, of course, right? I know! Anyways, well, it is what it is. Anyways, meanwhile I cleaned up all this with the wire wheel. It doesn't look great, but it is what it is. So we're gonna paint it. The fan also took a little damage, so we're gonna just file it a little bit. And we're gonna paint it again. And guys, I'm reading the comments on my yesterday's video, and it is like, I don't know, everybody's so supportive and everything, but yeah, it wasn't such a big deal. I damaged my radiator, big deal. No, yeah, it was a bad day yesterday, but really, it's not such a big deal. Don't worry about me, I'm fine. Thanks for the support anyway, but I'm just fine. Everyday things like this happen. Okay, so we're gonna hit it with some Scotch-Brite to give it a little bit of a rough finish, and we're gonna spray it again with red paint. Right, so while these are drying, the fan and the radiator, I wanna see what I'm gonna do with this, because I definitely want to install a fan on the radiator. It's just gonna be manually controlled. Alright, so here for the electrical part we're gonna use a relay, because we don't want the fan to be powered just by a switch, because this switch is gonna get burned very fast. So we need a relay to power the fan, and this relay we're gonna trigger it with a switch that I think I have an idea which switch I'm gonna use on the dash. But how does this relay work? So we have 5 terminals, and 3 of them are basically a switch. So we have a switch between the numbers are 30, 87A and 87. So on the other side we have 2 more terminals, right? So these are 85 and 86. So between 85 and 86 there is a coil. It's electromagnetic coil, and when it is not energized, this coil 86, between 85 and 86, when it is not energized, this switch between 30 and 87A is closed. So this switch is normally closed. When we put power though to one side and ground, and give ground to the other side on this 85 and 86, then this switch flips to the other side, and then we have no more connection between 30 and 87A, but we connect 30 to 87. So this opens, this closes when the relay is energized. So that's how this relay works. So these terminals in reality on the relay, they look like that, right? The same as here. And this is 30, this is 87A, this is 87, this is 85, and this is 86. So we need to put the fan between 30 and 87. So this is gonna be turning it on and off. So on 30 we're gonna put directly 12 volt from the battery. Of course we're gonna have to run a fuse, and I think for this size of fan we're gonna put a 20 amp fuse from the battery to here, and then from 87, because this is normally open, right? Between 30 and 87 we have open switch, and it closes only when we energize 85 and 86. So on 87 we're gonna put the fan, and on the other side we're gonna ground the fan. And the same way we're gonna ground which side we said, 86, we're gonna connect it to ground, and on 85 we're gonna have to put power, but through a switch. So I think I have an idea which switch on the dash I'm gonna use, and this switch on the other side needs to go to the ignition switch. So here we're gonna have the ignition switch. So here this switch is gonna work only with the ignition on. So when we turn the ignition on, then we're gonna have power here. When we close this switch, then we're gonna have power here on 85, and because 86 is grounded, this is gonna click the relay, and when it clicks, it's gonna close the circuit between 30 and 87, and then we're gonna have 12 volts directly to the fan, which on the other side is energized. So this ignition switch here is because I don't want sometimes to forget the fan on the on position and to walk away, and this fan to keep going until it drains the battery. So I want, when I turn the engine off, the fan to stop. Okay, but I don't want to guess about the fuse, so I'm just gonna test it here, how much it draws, and I can do that with my multimeter, or actually here I have on my power source I can see what's the amperage drawn. I have 0.13 amps because my radio is turned on, but that's almost nothing. So anyways, I'm gonna power up the fan and we will see how much it draws. Oh, it's not even 3 amps. I thought it was gonna be more, but actually I'm gonna flip it the other way around, because now actually I need it to blow the other way around. I need it to blow up. And it's gonna be against the rod like this. So now it went up to 3.35, 38, which is still fine. So we're gonna put a 10 amp fuse. Okay, so we're gonna take power from here. Okay, and we're gonna take the fuse temporarily out. Yeah, because now this wire is live, and we don't want it live until we finish, right? Okay. And the only thing that is going to be here outside is going to be the fuse. I don't want to put the relay here again. I just got rid of one relay, so I'm going to put it under the dash somewhere. So I'm going to feed this wire inside. Alright, and now I have this wire here, and now what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna use this switch for the fan, because this switch is for the lights on the dash, and it only works when the headlights are on. So now if I pull or push, the lights on the dash come on. Now you don't even see them, but I keep it always on the on position anyway, so I don't see a reason for it to be there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect the leads at the back together, so they're gonna be always on, the lights. Of course they're gonna be always on when you turn the headlights on. When you turn the headlights off, these come off too, so that's fine. And I'm gonna use this switch for the fan. So now I have more access. So this is the switch that I'm talking about, and I don't know how well you can see, but I can just take out these two leads and connect them together. And isolate them, of course. And now every time I turn the headlights on, these are gonna come on too, and I can see them. I don't know if you can see, but I can see from here. So now this wire can come here, and we said it's going to be hooked up to number 30, right? According to our schematic. Alright, so now we need another wire from here, from number 87 to the fan. Okay, so I just run this green wire all the way to the front of the engine bay where the fan is gonna be. So that we said is gonna go to 87. On our schematic, top and bottom. And now on 85 and 86 we need power and ground. So now we need ground. So ground is always black, or earth as they like calling it in UK. So this is gonna be our earth, and we're gonna take it from here. And that's gonna go to 85 or 86, doesn't really matter, because we need ground on one side and power on the other side. So we have ground, so now we only need power from the ignition through this switch here. So for this I'm gonna use yellow wire, and go the other way around now. First we're gonna go from the relay. So on number 85, because we put the ground on 86, so ground 8, power on 85, and now it has to go to the switch. So this one is fine. So that's gonna go to one side of the switch here. And this is gonna go to the other side of the switch. And now this end has to go to the ignition switch, and we need to find where we have switched power. Power that is on only with the ignition switch on. And I'm pretty sure that's gonna be the red one, because the red and the yellow are the ones that I took power for the stereo. And the stereo is the yellow one is the memory, which is always live. The red one is the switched power. So I'm gonna strip this and I'm gonna test it. I'm just gonna test it like that, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. Let's see now. So now our relay doesn't work, but if we turn the ignition on, I can hear the relay clicking. Okay, so that's it. Now I'm just gonna solder this connection, and I'm gonna isolate it, and that's it for here. And here we're gonna take ground from here. So now we have our power and ground for the fan, and when we install it here, we're gonna connect it. And I didn't even need to remove this pulley yesterday, but I tried to remove it to clean behind it. I couldn't remove it, so I put the nut back, but I didn't put the washer back. And we should install the fan now. To install it, I'm gonna get rid of those ears, because I don't need them. Because I have 3. If I had 4, I could have used them, but with 3, not really. So I'm gonna mount it like this. That's the front of the radiator. So maybe like this. Yeah, so the wire goes down. And now we don't want to mount it directly on the core, so we're gonna cut some rubber washers. Out of this AC hose. I'm gonna put them here. All right. And now we're gonna use a zip tie through a washer and through the core. That's a little bit tricky. Okay, it's coming through on the other side, so do the other one. Alright, and now carefully so the fan doesn't come off, we'll flip it, hold the fan, and now we can pull these all the way. And now on this side we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put a rubber washer, a metal washer, and another zip tie. Then we can trim this. And this. And we're all good. And that's it. Now the fan is not going anywhere. I'm just gonna make sure that it can still spin freely. Yeah, not a problem. Alright, everything is assembled again and the system is full with coolant, and I just want to connect the fan first before I start the car. And the fan, I just temporarily connected it over there, if you see, because I want to check the polarity and make sure that it is turning in the right direction. So if we did everything right, this shouldn't work now. Yeah. Nothing happens, but when we turn the ignition on, yes. And if we turn the ignition on, if we turn the ignition off with this on, it stops automatically. So that's exactly what we wanted. So now let's go in the front and check the direction. So now it is supposed to blow towards the radiator, but when you put your hand here, you can't really tell if it's blowing or if it's blowing this way or this way. So the only way to find out is, okay, that's the wrong direction. So we're gonna flip these around. And see it again. And I can tell by the sound that that is different now. You see? Now it's going this way. So that's how it's supposed to be. So now we're gonna solder this and finish it. Alright, let's start it again and see. We don't need it for now. We're gonna let her run for a while, and we're gonna be watching the temperature, and we're gonna be watching for leaks, but I believe everything is fine. So far so good. Alright, she's been running for 20 minutes now, and the thermostat opened and the temperature is about 70 degrees Celsius, which is the temperature at which the thermostat opens. So it's been running like that for about maybe 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes she's running with the thermostat open, and there's absolutely no issues. I don't even need to turn the fan on. But anyways, it's a good idea to have it there, because last summer I had once or twice happened to me to be sitting in traffic in very hot weather, and the temperature started raising up. Didn't reach too high, but it went above 80, which usually she's sitting at about 70. So it went above 80 and I started getting scared, and I raised the RPM, just held the gas pedal a little bit depressed, so the RPM was about 2500, and that lowered the temperature. But at that moment I got a little bit scared, and I thought that it was a good idea to have an electrical fan just in case I need it. So I was gonna install it anyways, and now that was the perfect opportunity. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna finish cleaning it and I'm gonna leave, but you know what, I might take you with you on a ride. The winning ticket. I won the lotto. $5. $5. Still a win. Anyway, so I'm gonna put on my earplugs and I'm gonna record the sound on my phone, so hopefully you're gonna be hearing me, because I don't know. Oh my god, so many comments. Alright, so I hope you hear me now. Alright. Alright, so the volume is all the way down. 7 o'clock, oh my god. Anyways, let's go guys. Turn the lights on. Let's see how is she gonna do now. So far so good. Before it was rattling a lot. Now I don't hear any rattling on the chain. And also we have to watch the temperature here, which is a little bit below 70 now. But we will see. So I have a lot of play here on the shaft, so I bought the kit, the rebuilding kit for here. So one day I'm gonna have to take the transmission cover off and replace all the bushings and stuff there, because this is a lot of play, right? Rattle on the chain, so the double tensioner works perfect. I don't know if you hear, but there's some vibration on the real right when I stop, and that's something to do with the brakes. That's why I wanted to change the brakes, that's why I wanted to change the drums, the pads and everything inside, so get that out of the way. But we didn't have chance to do that today. Well, we didn't have the drums anyway, we had only the front rotors. But yeah, we're gonna do that some other day. It's not so urgent. It's important that we did a good job with the tensioner and we did a good job with the radiator. Quiet, man. And again, it looks like I won't need the fan, but it's not a bad idea to have it for the heat, because now it is maybe 15 degrees outside Celsius, but you never know what's gonna be in the summer. It's gonna be 35, 40. outside, and then we might have issues with this little radiator. So it's a good idea to have the fan there. When they start turning left here, they're not allowed to. They don't have right here to turn left. Right to turn left. Wow. That reminds me of a joke where they say, where somebody says, when I last checked my brain, there was nothing left on the right side and there was nothing right on the left side. So it's pretty useless. Temperature is perfect. So I went even to 120, absolutely no rattling, and I don't even remember ever doing 120 with this car, so it's good. Hey, go. Alright guys, so it looks like everything is fine. The temperature is a little bit higher than 70, which is a little bit higher than before, but that's totally fine as long as it doesn't go higher than that. So what else? The rattling is obviously gone, so everything seems to be fine. Uh-oh, somebody tore the door down. Whatever. So yeah, thanks for watching and thanks for commenting and subscribing, and I really appreciate your comments and your positive feedback and your support, because yesterday when I was having a bad day I got a lot of positive comments from you guys, so thank you so much for that. Yeah, so the girl that hit my car parks right there, but now she doesn't park there anymore. I don't know where she parks. So anyways, thanks for watching guys. Bye.